basically, Double Dare is a documentary that was made about me and another stunt woman. And it followed me from the last part of Xena right through till like the first month of getting Kill Bill. So Quentin kind of became a friend of the project. Apparently he liked the movie, and apparently, in hindsight, he would play Double Dare to friends of his that would come to his house. Which, you know, I'm mortified to find that out. He's like, Harvey Weinstein rocks over to his house for a beer, and he's like, so Harvey, you're gonna see this movie about this friend. I'm like, oh my God, you fucking what? What are you like? You know, but anyway, so he would play this movie to his mates, and apparently, see, I just feel like a dick. The effect that I had as a character on the audience made Quentin go, I want that character in my next movie. So he took he took me and made me into a character, apparently, and then built the movie around me. But what he told me is, I'm making this movie about a guy who kills girls with his car. And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds brilliant. Weirdo. And then he explained it a little further, and I was like, hey, you can't help but be sold. When Quentin Tarantino tells you about his idea for a movie, no matter how fucked up it sounds, you're like, after about 20 minutes, you're like, oh my God, that's brilliant. Because the man's a genius. Don't tell him I said that. But he is. And he was like, and I want you guys to be in it, being me and Monica, who was Lana Frank, who was the pot dealer, basically, who was Daryl Hannah's stunt double in Kill Bill, right? So me and Monica beat the shit out of each other. We get nominated for an MTV award. So we're at Quentin's house, getting drunk, about to go to the MTV Awards, and he's like, by the way, I'm making this movie and I want you guys to be in it. We're like, oh, that's a brilliant idea, cheers. Like, we think he's just sort of talking smack, like he does sometimes. And 6 months later, he brings me up and goes, Zoe, I finished my script. I'm like, oh, good on you, mate, that's nice. He's like, I want you to read it. I'm like, okay, I mean, I'd love to read it. I don't know why you want me to read it. And he's like, I'm coming over to your side of town. I live on the west, like I live near the beach. I'm coming to the beach for dinner, and I'm bringing the script. At that point, I'm like, okay, there's something fishy going on. Like, I have it that he's going to have me doing cameo. I'm going to be in the background going, oh, get a paint, mate, thanks, cheers, you know. And he'll be able to go, that's my stunt woman from New Zealand, haha, you know. Like a Quentinese kind of like playback. So he turns up to my house and he's like, here's the script. And it's got, I shouldn't say this because Mickey Rourke didn't end up doing the thing, but it said, blah, 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 death proof, Mickey Rourke, Zoe Bell. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. My mum and dad are going to love that. Turns out that's actually the script that went out to fucking agents across the country, you know, and they're all like, oh, Mickey Rourke, who the fuck is Zoe Bell? I'm like, I don't know, who the fuck is she? Like, you know. But, so he got me to go to page 88, and I looked at page 88 and it introduced me, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. He said, I'm cute as a bug's ear. That's my introduction. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. And he's like, keep going. I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh. Fucking like 40 pages later, I'm looking at him like, you're a crack addict. Honestly, I mean, he had this whole movie, and I'm like this lead character. I've never acted in my life. I lied. Cleopatra 2525. I had 3 lines, and 2 of them were the same fucking line. You will return to the factory. That's my American accent. And but you know what he did is he goes, yeah, I know you've got all these pages of dialogue, but let me tell you about the action sequence. That's how he sold me. And he started talking, and I was like, oh, that's great. Yeah, sold. And then he bought me beers. I forgot all about the 80 pages of dialogue. I was like, 8 pints and riding on the bonnet of the car. And that was anyway.